What if you took the myth of Cupid and Psyche and made it very, very silly? You'd probably come up with the French fairy tale Gracieuse and Percinet by Madame Delnoy, the woman who came up with the term fairy tale. And just like Cupid, its male love interest is a little bitch.
Fucked up fairy tales with Liz.
Ding! Once upon a time, a king became a widower, left only with his one child, a beautiful young princess named Gracieuse. This probably isn't surprising. Men are widowed very often in fairy tales. Hell, it still happens a lot in modern media. It's almost as if people think women are disposable. Can you tell I'm writing this script on what would have been the anniversary of Roe versus Wade? Anyway, a local duchess loathed Gracieuse, and she decided to weasel her way into the royal family in order to eliminate her as a threat. The duchess was named Grumbly, and she was, frankly, a very ugly bitch. Now, one has to be very careful when they're portraying a character called ugly, because so often ugliness is portrayed in such a sexist, fatphobic, ableist way. So with that in mind, this is how I will be portraying canonically ugly characters moving forward, including the Duchess Grumbly. The Duchess found her way into marrying into the royal family when one day the king found himself lost in the woods by her estate. She invited the king to cool down and rest in her wine cellar, and she offered him a drink. "I have champagne, Saint-Julien, or cider?" "I'll have some champagne." When Grumbly uncorked the cask of champagne, no bubbly came out. Thousands of crowns poured out instead. "Well, how did all that money get in there?" "I'll get you a glass of the Saint-Julien instead." "No wine, just a barrel full of gold." "Oh, that's weird." "We'll try the cider." "No cider, just a barrel full of diamonds?" I mean, who does a girl have to fuck to get a glass of wine in this wine cellar, am I right? Who gives a crap about wine when you're this rich? "Oh, I don't care for such finery." If only I could marry and just, I don't know, like give all of my treasure to my husband and wash my hands of it, I would be a much happier gal. "Babe, how would you like to be a queen?" Yes, the king fell head over heels for Grumbly's riches. But Grumbly had one condition. "I want full control of your daughter Gracieuse." "Okay. You don't want to think about it first?" "When do I get to hold the diamonds?" Now, Gracieuse was pretty nervous when her father announced his intentions to marry Grumbly. She was aware of how the woman felt about her. But her nurse gave her the old, "You're a princess, set a good example, be nice to the manipulative lady that wants to kill you" spiel. Oh, Gracieuse bit her tongue. She went to the woods to cry about it for a little bit, though, and there she met a very handsome man. "Pardon me, princess. I'm here to escort you back to the king." "Well, hello. Are you a new page? I've never seen you at court before." Actually, I'm not a page at all. My name is Prince Percinet. I have a fairy gift, and I am in love with you." "Oh, I've heard of you, Prince Percinet, but why the silly disguise?" "My disguise is so I can be your ally in court. You are in grave danger from the Duchess Grumbly, but I can use my fairy gift to protect you, if you like." The princess agreed, and Percinet gave her the most beautiful horse in the land as a thank you gift. Gracieuse rode that thing everywhere, including in the procession that was to introduce Duchess Grumbly as the king's betrothed. This did not sit well with Grumbly. She already had to compete with the princess's beauty, and now her horse was fugglier too? Well, if the princess is going to have a better horse than the queen, I am calling the marriage off. Gracieuse, trade horses with my beloved right now. I want that cutie patootie page as well. Gracieuse and Percinet, the Jim and Pam of their era, exchanged looks with each other, but allowed the trade to happen. The Duchess would regret this move, though. For suddenly the princess's horse bucked and sent Grumbly sailing. If I don't get to violently punish the princess for this embarrassment, I am calling the wedding off. Do whatever you want with her. Grumbly attempted to have Gracieuse viciously beaten by her attendants, but Percinet used his fairy gift to transform the rods into feathers. Smartly, the princess still pretended it all hurt to appease Grumbly. Percy helped his girl out again at the royal wedding. The king was aware of how much his fiancée wanted to be the most beautiful, so he had his gorgeous daughter stand like right next to, behindish the throne, so that whenever anyone sent their looks admiringly her way, it actually looked as if they were looking at Duchess Grumbly. The king also arranged a joust for the event. If any man here thinks he can produce a woman as beautiful as my queen, let him challenge my knights and see how he fares. Now, the royal knights were very talented. It didn't matter that Grumbly was objectively the ugliest woman in the kingdom. Everyone that challenged her beauty went down. Until Percinet, disguised as a knight, challenged them on behalf of Gracieuse's beauty and took the whole thing. Grumbly was so mad she had the princess banished to the forest. So Percinet picked her up there and brought her to his crystal palace. There he revealed a mural painted on the wall that depicted the princess's entire life, including up to that very moment that he picked her up in the forest. And I'm not creeped out by that at all! You know, darling, I have had a wonderful week here, but I am curious about what's happening at home. Give me your hand. Aw, okay. Here it is. Now I'm gonna put your pinky finger in your mouth while I'm still holding your hand. Is this a sex thing? No, it's a magic thing. But, is this doing it for ya? Percinet directed the princess to gaze towards her kingdom as she sucked her little finger. Okay. She saw there that the queen had declared Gracieuse dead, and she even staged a funeral burying a log that was dressed up as Gracieuse. That's very funny. I'd like to see that. And Gracieuse witnessed her father being devastated by this, which is frankly pretty surprising. Oh, Percy, please let me go home so I can show my father that I am okay. But why do you want to leave? If you truly loved me, you would not want to leave. Why does it have to be either or? If you loved me, you would let me go home. Ugh, fine. But I'm destroying my crystal palace. Why? Oh, don't worry, princess. You'll see it again. But not till after you're buried. This guy sucks. Gracieuse returned home, and she told her father the whole deal. But Grumbly was not finished with her yet. She ordered the princess to complete 3 impossible tasks upon penalty of death. The first task was to untangle the world's largest heap of yarn. Oh, Percy, I do wish you'd forgive me and help a girl out. Fine, I'll untangle the yarn. But I'm beginning to think you only want me around when you need me to get you out of trouble. I will begrudgingly give Percinet that point. Second, the Duchess made Gracieuse organize a room full of feathers. Well, I won't bother Percinet again. I guess I'll just die. Don't die! I organized your feathers! What the fuck? You're just hiding in my room now? Yes, now will you come home with me to stay? I need more time to consider this. Why? I don't need to explain myself to the man who is stalking me. Gracieus's third task was to bring a box to the Duchess with strict orders not to open it up and peek inside. I don't know, that seems like a pretty easy task to me. Would you open the box? I think I could manage not opening the box. Turns out, though, I'm gonna open it. 1,000 tiny little men jumped out of the box and ran away. Percinet helped Gracieuse retrieve all the little men and put them back in the box, and this time Gracieuse promised that if the Duchess was mean to her again, she would move in with him. Pretty quickly after that, the Duchess grumbly shoved Gracieuse into a giant hole and covered the top with a giant stone. But instantly, in that deep, dark hole, an enchanted door appeared. And when Gracieuse walked through it, she found herself in Percinet's crystal palace. Oh, Percy, you kidder. Do you remember when you told me I'd only see your palace again if I were buried? Did you know then that I would also tell you that I love you and I never want to be parted from you again? I did see that on my mural. 'Cause I'm a creep. I'm a weirdo. What the hell am I doing here? The end. That was a patron pick from Sarian. If you want to see your favorite fairy tales in my Fucked Up Fairy Tales series, join my Patreon. For a mere $5 a month, you too can demand a fairy tale of me, plus get access to loads of exclusive content. Such as my Fucked Up Fairy Tales podcast episode featuring the myth of Cupid and Psyche, as well as an expanded look at French fairy tales written by women. But whether you can financially support me and whether you can't, I'm happy to have you here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you for the next Fucked Up Fairy Tale. Prince has some schmutz on his tit.
Fucked Up Fairy Tales with Liz. Fucked Up Fairy Tales with Liz.